What if I told you you are a world changer? That you're here to change the world. Now, some of you might get pretty excited about that. Some of you might get so excited about it that you don't even do anything about it because you're too busy thinking that you're here to change the world. Well, others might think that, you know what, that's just too huge, bro. That's too big of a job. The world's too big and the problems are too huge. The problem with that is we forget that there's a world right around us. There are everyday people caught up in everyday real life struggles, looking for help every day from someone, anyone who might have a better view of life than they do. See, believe it or not, but there are people you know who can only wish that they could pursue the life that you're pursuing right now. You're like, yeah, but you know, that may be true, but I don't know how to help them, right? You know, how do I help them? And my question is, how do you know you haven't? How do you know that you're not helping them already? By just being there, by just being available, by just being you, man. You see, sometimes being here, it just makes all the difference. You ever have somebody tell you that? You being here made all the difference? You ever have somebody say, man, thanks for being here? Being here, being right here in the moment makes all the difference. Everyone has a part in the story. Everyone has a story, and every story counts. Every story changes the world. Jane Goodall once said, she said, you cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference. Everything you do makes a difference. And you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. See, at the end of the day, we're just everyday people doing everyday things and yet changing the world every day. How you change it, well, that's up to you. To say that we can't change the world, well, that's crazy because you're already doing it. You, right now, are making history. The decisions we make today will determine the stories that we tell tomorrow. And the ones that were told of you, that'll be told of you. And the stories that they create in the lives around you will be told. It's a big deal. People are watching, whether they're watching from the front or they're watching from the side. They're watching you, and that watching is making a difference in the lives around you. There was a young man, his name was David. You might remember David and Goliath, the story back then, right? Well, there was a guy, he was a king, and he was just going through it. His life was just going nuts, and he had caused a lot of his own problems. And he was looking for somebody who can play some worship songs and just kind of help him recenter his life. And this dude said this about this young dude named David. He was just a shepherd dude, man. He was just a shepherd kid. And he came on the scene, right, because God was making a difference in his life, and that life was making a difference in the world around him. And this guy, this random dude, comes up to the king, his name was Saul, and tells him, hey, man, one young man, he says, behold, I've seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite. In other words, I saw a dude. He didn't know I saw him, but I saw him. But here's what I saw. Look what he said he saw. He is skillful in playing. He's a man of valor. He's a man of war. He's prudent in speech. He's a man of good presence, and the Lord is with him. This all from a side view. From David just being there, he made a huge difference in this one guy's life and began to make a difference in the world. Look at the description. He's skillful in playing. In other words, he pays attention to what he does well, and he wants to do it better. See, you and I can do that. Pay attention to what we do well and just try to do it better. He says that he is a man of valor. He stands up for what is right. He doesn't flinch in adversity. You and I can do that. Well, we're going to need some help, and it's coming. Watch. He says he's a man of war. He doesn't go around pick fights. He's not a bully. It's not how he is. But he fights for what's right, namely the name of God. He's prudent in speech. He doesn't just run his mouth. He doesn't just start, just to talk just because he hear himself talk. He's very careful in the words that he uses and how he says what he says. And he says that he's a man of good presence. In other words, he presents himself very well. But most importantly, the only thing that makes all these carry any weight is that the Lord is with him. See, you and I, we're already making a difference. But it's time for us to choose truly and purposely what kind of difference do we want to make. You see, God reaches into our lives with his word to create his story. If we would just care to look, to trust, and to act on that. Jesus loves you, and so do we. Take it easy.